good to great. Good to great. Have you ever imagined why some people never become great? They're just good. They're good at what they do. You know, that person is a good, accountant, it's a good lawyer, it's a good, it's a good doctor, it's a good prime minister, it's a good tennis player. But when they mention great, great, that's another level. These people never mentioned. They never mentioned in greatness. When you talk about greatness, these people are never mentioned in greatness. So going from good to great. So if someone is good, they're good at what they do, why can't they become great? I mean, to be called good in a certain field means you've got at least the necessary skills, or yeah. And I think that brings me back to something I'm focusing a lot on recently. Skills, skills, tools, technique, problem solving, the ability to do something within the shortest amount of time. Skills. I mean, I'm focusing a lot about skill recently because I could see how certain skills are impacting my life on a daily basis. Because I just like my inability to focus on those skills in the past. They affecting me currently now. They affecting me currently now. And if you've listened to some of my tips in the past, you would see I have mentioned these skills, very simple, basic skills, but I neglected these things. And to fix itself. It's never gonna fix itself. It's not nature, you know. It's not like the weather. It's not like the seasons. Like after summer you have um, um uh, 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 after summer you have summer, you have autumn, then you have the winter, then spring, and then no, these things are not nature. They're not gonna fix themselves. You have to fix yourself. You have to make the changes. So I'm focusing on skills, skills, skills. This is what gets you from A to B. This is what moves you from ordinary to good, or okay to good, good to great, good to great. Skills, tools, technique. What if you go in your toolbox, in your current, in whatever interest you are, whatever you're doing, they are those who are great in that industry. Even in your company, even in your school, even in your house, even in your teams, wherever, there are few who, when they call the name, people say, yes, sir. That's how respect. No, like, oh, what's up, mate? Okay, mate. No. When the names are mentioned, people stand up because those people, they're great. They're so good. They've got all the knowledge, that skills, technique, too. What have you got in your toolbox? What have you got in your toolbox? Man, don't be shy. Just open your toolbox and look. What have you got? What's keeping you from getting from where you are to the next level? What's keeping you? I mean, a simple one is like if you're applying for a position like myself, I'm an accountant, so when I apply for position, I have got to have all the requisite skill, a qualified accountant, chartered accountant, and this, and then it comes to the other soft skill that you don't get taught those in school, like advanced skills. Advanced Excel skill, attention to details, problem solving, SAP skill, IFT skill, Oracle skill, Sage. So there's some skills that prerequisite to becoming great. You have to have these things in abundance, and it has to be advanced. Like some position I try to apply to, like it advertise advanced Excel skills. It's not just Excel skills. That's it, intermediate, advanced. They want you advanced stage because now you come in to bring some advanced result to this company. You come in to create result. They want to give you a problem and they want to fix this problem within the shortest amount of time. That's why they pay you the big bucks. Advanced skill. So I've been looking at this a lot recently, and that's because I've been just looking at myself like, how do I go from good to great? How do I move to that next level in what I do? Why when I read, what do I read? What am I reading? What am I learning from the books I'm reading every day? What is it teaching me? What do I need to get when I listen to Les? When I listen to John? When I listen to, you know, Les Brown, John Maxwell, Eric Thomas, Oprah Winfrey, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Steve Harvey, David Schwartz, um, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robinson, Max Maxton. When I listen to all these guys, what am I learning from these guys? What can I pick up? What do I need? What's the skill that I need to take me to the next level? I love it when I listen to Les Brown. Like Les Brown tells you his story. Like he had nothing. He had nothing. Nothing was given to Les. Nothing. And I could relate because he had to take everything he had. And I've done that all through my life. But I feel like at this stage I'm kind of stagnating in one position. I'm becoming comfortable. Like I'm not following my instinct anymore. I'm not following choices. I'm making choices. I've gotten the freedom of choice. Now I have the freedom of choice. And I feel like I could just sit on my backside. I've arrived and and make choices. I forgot I grew up with instinct. Instinct, just one. It says go and I went. That's it. I never second guessed it. And every time I was right. Because I was on the ball every single time. It was one option and I followed that option. But now I've got choice. And my choice, which is a freedom, has become a curse because now I am thinking I've got, or or I could not. What I could do or what I wouldn't do. What I wouldn't do. Never had that. What I would do. I always did. One said go, I go. I always did. And I'm thinking, and I'm sure you have this in your life. You get into a position you're thinking, uh, what would people say? What would people say? Well, I'll do it tomorrow. Today is it tomorrow of yesterday? So why not do it? This is already tomorrow. So why not do it today? Because today is it tomorrow of yesterday. So this is already tomorrow. So why not do it tomorrow? So when you say I'm going to do it tomorrow, you actually are in tomorrow. So do it today. Do it today. Listen to the voice. Get the skill you need. Look into your toolbox. Don't blame like society, race, people, color. Those things exist. But also get yourself to the best level first, and then you like the tree that grows. A tree doesn't grow halfway. A tree doesn't grow halfway and stops and say, I'll grow some more tomorrow. No, a tree grows to the best of his ability, gets as tall as he could, and then looks down and like, yeah, that's me. That's me. Be like a tree. Grow as tall as you can. Do everything in your power to acquire the best skill you can. Everything in your power to become the best you can. Everything in your power to become great, because good is not good enough anymore. Good is now average. Look in your company. Look at the CFO, the top executives. They're not good. They're great, and they've beat themselves. They started just like you, regardless of their color, their race, their gender. They started somewhere just like you, and they built in it. They built it. They never stopped. They acquired this skill. They acquired. Listen to some of the story. Talk to them. You would see, like, even though you have two different lifestyles, you're not so different yourself. They have had to add different skills to themselves, and every time they're growing. And every year they're adding something. You know, there's history there. There's a past. They're looking down. They're saying, I've got to get better. You've got to get better. You've got to, you got to improve. You got to progress. You cannot stay in one place. You cannot stay in one place. Uh, is it, um, I was listening to John Maxwell, listening to John Maxwell, and I was reading John Maxwell in his book, the uh, Today Matters. John Maxwell was talking about this Tata group, the Tata group of um, um, uh, East Asia. In East Asia, um, when they when they curse you, they don't insult you or call God to come and rain down storms on you or God to destroy you. They simply say, may you remain in one place forever. Forever. That's what they say. They never call God or storm or anything like you. No, they just simply say, may you remain in one place forever. That is stagnation. That's where you are. No one has cursed you, and you have naturally impose that cost in yourself, because for you not acquiring skill, for you not willing to learn, for you not willing to grow, for you not picking up the little things that are going to take you from good to great, you are basically saying to yourself, I am going to remain in one place forever. And you know what? I am comfortable with that. And you know what? I am fine with that. And you know what? I would do with this. You know what? Why do I have to become great anyway? And my mom was never great. My dad was never great. There's no one around me that's great. Why do I need to become great? I cannot become great. I am average. I am good. I'm even good. That's better. Most people around me are average. So me being good, that is my greatness. Why do I want to become good? Nah, don't say that. You can become great. When you stop progressing, when you stop feeding your soul, of course, you make choices every day. What food you're gonna eat, where you're gonna go on holiday, sleep, watch TV. You make those choices every day. But why not make the choice to grow? Why not make the choice to grow? Say to yourself, this year, write it down. I'm going to take this course. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to run this marathon. I'm going to lose my weight. I'm going to change. Take this, do things, little things to help you grow. You've got to grow. You've got to grow. You cannot be alive and not grow and not prosper and not progress. Imagine if you planted, if you're a farmer, and then you planted um a sweet corn. Uh, yeah, sweet corn in the spring. Yeah, and come summer, that sweet corn like 3 months, spring to summer, 3 months, I'm going to 4 months. That sweet corn has only grown like 5 inches. And you could say, but it has only 5 inches. It's time to harvest and it's still just breaking out of the soil. And then how long can you keep that sweet corn? For 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're a farmer. You need to harvest. You need to harvest. You need to harvest it. That sweet corn is just there. You're going to discard it. This is something wrong with the sweet corn. Maybe it's you, the way you planted it. Maybe it's the brand of sweet corn. Maybe you're gonna discard that sweet corn, start all over again. That's what I'm telling you. Start all over again with yourself, regardless of what happened in the past. You can start today. You can start today. You can look at yourself in the eye and say, today, I'm gonna write out how I need to get to from good to great. How I need to add this to. I have looked at this in details. Most time, what's holding you back is the skill, and the problem is this skill. Most time, they never taught in schools. They never taught in schools. That's what separates us from the greats. After school, when nature stopped teaching them, when the parents stopped forcing them to school, when people stop educating them, they start educating themselves. They start educating themselves. And I'm not talking about going to school, going back to school. Yeah, there is some who go back and get a double PhD, a double master's, a doctorate degree. Now, I'm not talking about all those. Those are academic qualifications. You can get that if it means anything to you. But I'm talking about education. Education does not necessarily mean you have to go to some institution. No, education means you acquire the skills you need in whatever means. If you think, oh, my skills is communication, work on that. My skills is being friendly, work on that. My skills is being open, work on that. There's a lot of skills you can acquire without going to any institution. There are some institutions, yeah, you can acquire some skill if that's what becoming great demands for you. But I'm telling you, and most times after you leave school, you've gotten most of what you need. You've gotten the foundation. Your mom has forced you to go to school. Your parents have, made sure you go to school. The school has educated you. When you leave that, the rest is now up to you. And that's where some people stop. They stop. They stagnate. They never, ever move from one position. They bring the curse onto themselves. Like, yeah, this is my ground. This is my foundation. I'm going to stay here till I die. Yeah, I'm going to stay here till I die. I'm not going to move an inch. I'm not going to move an inch. I want to stay here forever. The Asian tribe of Tata, their curse, bring it on me, curse me. Anyone curse me because I'm comfortable with that curse. I want to be in one place. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to move around. I don't want to hop around. I don't want to become great. What's good in becoming great anyway? I'm good enough. That's good for me. No one's around my family has ever been good. They're all average. They're all less than average. So me becoming good is the best that could happen to my generation. But I say no. Sometimes you just need to change 2 things or 1 thing. It's a progress. Pick 3 things in your life and look at them. Pick your weaknesses, write them down. Work on one weakness, work on to strength. Work on one weakness, work on to strength. Just gradually improve yourself. Little by little, improve yourself. Step by step, improve yourself. And then you become a moving train. Gradual. And then you become unstoppable. And that's how you go from becoming good to great. I always say there's a lot of things, skills, and that's what brings us from good to great, from crossing over the border, from crossing over the bridge, from moving from B to A. Skills. And that's what separates us from the rest. Skills. I don't know if you're a basketball fan. If you look into the LA Lakers, other than LeBron James, Anderson, I don't think you could name the rest of the players if you're not an avid basketball fan. Look into the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. What's the guy from Houston? Let's just move over from Houston. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Yeah, look at most teams in the world. Even if you're not in that sport, you can remember the names of the great. Look into golf, you know Tiger Woods. You don't have to play golf to know Tiger Woods. Tennis, you know Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. You don't have to be a tennis player to know those guys. Motor racing, you know Lewis Hamilton. You don't have to be an F1, a Formula One fan to know these guys because they're great in what they do. They stand out. They stand out. They walk with their chest high. They look in the face. They say, "Nice to meet you. My name is this." They are great. They cannot hide. They have humility, but not timidity. These are great people. Why can you not be great? Are you not willing to put in the work? Is that what's holding you back? Are you holding yourself back? Are you strapping yourself to a tree and say, "I'm going to remain here for the rest of my life and I'm not going to move an inch"? And you know what? I'm going to pass this down to my generation. They cannot become good. I mean, I came from a generation where people were average and I became good. So yeah, let me, pass this down to my generation, to my kids. They could become good or they've got the opportunity to become great. Now, you start building the foundation now. Let your kids, let your family see the steps you're moving, the steps you're making. And this applies to a lot of things. I'm an avid tennis fan. I love tennis. I don't watch a lot of TV. Whenever you've got the Grand Slam, I watch the Grand Slams. Any other time I just check the scores, but when it comes to the Grand Slams, I watch the Grand Slams. And there's this player, I would tell you. I don't need to say much about this player just by, saying his country. You already know who I'm talking about. This guy could be great. This guy could be great if he worked on his skills. So here we're going back to skills. Skills comes in different form. If he worked on his skills, this guy could be great. This guy could have been a Grand Slam champion, multiple, if he only worked on his skills. So skills comes in different forms, and this I'm trying to tell you. You can have all the talent in the world, all the biggest serve, the big forehand backhand, just like in tennis. I'm using tennis now. Forehand backhand, all the weapon you require to become great. You can have this now and still not great because the person I'm telling you, he's got all the skill in the world and he's still not great. In fact, most tennis fans, they hate this player. They can't stand the sight of this player. Whenever I talk to anyone about this guy, they can't stand the sight of this guy. They cannot stand this. And you think, how can a player with such an ability so much squander his ability and just being satisfied with being good? He's just okay with being good. Probably he never think it's going to be great. Probably something that he grew up as a kid. He was bullied. I don't know, but there's something in him that makes him think, "I'm never going to be great." And I think that's the problem. And people just look at him on the tennis court and think, "Oh, he's just throwing tantrums. He's just doing this and that." I love this guy. I don't watch tennis, but I love this guy because he has all the ability you ever need to become a Grand Slam champion. He has all that and more, but still, it's just good. And worse than that, most tennis fans, cannot stand this guy. In fact, they go further. They hate this guy. He brings disrespect to the game of tennis, to the beautiful game of tennis. He brings disrespect, and most tennis fans, you obviously know the average tennis fan what they look like. They don't like that. And just to help you, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, but just to help you, this guy is an Australian. Australian. And I watch him, I think, wow, if only he looked into himself and said, I want to be great from today. I want to be great. He could he could be so much. And when I talk about skill, he has all the technique in the world, but he is lacking the basic skills, his attitude. His attitude is the killer. He has deficit in that area. His attitude is the worst because he doesn't have that skill. You see, so you can have all it takes to become great in the world, but there's one thing missing: his attitude. He's missing the attitude. And until he steps in and looks at someone and say, "You, please, please," calls on someone and say, "Please, I need your help," he's never gonna become great. I remember a few years ago, Djokovic was good, but he wasn't great. When the weather gets hot, he pulls out, he throws in the towel, and then he called someone and said, "Please, I want to be great. I don't want to spend my whole life being good. Good is not even good enough anymore. Good, good is not good enough anymore. I want to be great." And he asked for help. People like it when you ask for help. The CEOs, people like it when you ask for help. He rushed in and said, "How can we help?" That's what we're here for, to help you. You know, that's what we're here for, to help, to guide you, to tell you about our past, about our experience, how we got here. And then when Djokovic said he needed help, he needed an additional coach, he needed to do something different, he needed mental toughness, people ran to his aid. Because you know why? They could see the greatness in him. And they want to be part of that. Everyone wants to be part of greatness, especially when they see the greatness in you. No one wants to miss out on that. They ran to his aid because they knew, or they saw the greatness in him. They just needed to give him a bit of extra belief, do things differently. You know, if you should throw in the towel, 4th set, fight it through to 5th set. If you wake up at 7 every day, try 6:30. If you go for a run once every week, try 2 every week, twice every week. If you eat apple once every week, try eating apple 3 times a week. If you drink a cup of water a day, try drinking maybe 500 ml a day. This is just little gradual things, that makes people go from good to great, good to great. So if this guy could only focus on his attitude, and I don't know what's in him that's made him think, oh, good is good enough for me. I don't know what happened in his past. Well, just look, I can see why you would be so good. You've got everything it takes to be great, but then you can see that. I think, looking back, probably, he was willing to learn and grow when his parent was there to push him. Just like a kid, you're forced to learn. You have to go to school until you get to maybe age of 20 or 18 when you're out of, or maybe 20, 21 when you're out of university. You don't have to learn anymore. And most people just shut the brain off. They lock it and throw it away. They just now follow the flow. They just exist. They stop learning. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. When you're not using your brain, you stop dying. That's it. It's like the Chinese bamboo. If you don't water it for 4 years, the 5th year it's not gonna bloom. It's not gonna pop out of the ground. No, you've got to continuously water your brain, water your brain by learning new things, by improving it, by working it, by keeping it fresh. That's how you go from good to great. If only this tennis player could just change his attitude, look at things, bring people on board to help him, saying, okay, if nothing, I want to win one Grand Slam. And if nothing, I want to win a Grand Slam in my home country, Australia. Let me start with this. Let me win one Grand Slam. Let's focus. Get rid of everything. Let's focus on one thing. I'm going to win one Grand Slam in my country, and then we can go for anything. If he could build his life around that and focus on just that one thing, whatever it takes, I am going to do it. Because you know what? I have invited the Tata cost on myself by standing in one place. Now no one is cussing me out. I am doing that to myself. I'm saying I am good enough, and that is good enough for me. And you know what? I'm comfortable being in one place. So when you refuse to change, when you refuse to grow, you're stuck in one place. And to some, they're doomed to one place. They're doomed to one place. They have no destination. They've resigned to die. Resigned to die. Resigned to die. If you check the word resignation in I think in the Bible, and wherever it comes to the word resignation, is a punishment. It's a kind of a punishment. You're being punished. Resignation. You've been punished for all sorts. Resignation. So when you resign, you're resigning yourself to death. You're ready for decline. You cannot grow anymore. You've grown the best you can. Now you've started to decline. That's it. You've reached your peak. And now you're looking downward and saying, well, I better start returning home to retire. That's it. I've reached my peak. I've done all I could do in the world. I've contributed my best. But look at it this way. How many people outside your families have you touched now that you're so happy to resign? So happy to pack it up, put your feet up. How many people have you touched outside your family? I don't know, maybe you've touched people. How many people's life have you impacted outside your immediate family? How many people would say, oh, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done that. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have. How many people, now that you're so happy to retire, how many people have you impacted? And it's not about money. Some people give time. They volunteer to the soup kitchens. They help the elderly. Yeah. How many people have you impacted? Some people give free, teach people free baths. Some people pay for some people to go to school in the developing world. How many people have you impacted? Now that you've done it all, you've worked it out right, like Fred Allen says. If you only live once is enough. If you worked it right, have you worked it right? Have you worked it right? So now you've worked it right, and you're ready to resign. If you have impacted a lot of people's life, you've made difference to people's life, and you're now immortal, you're gonna live on, then that's fine. You can resign. You've done your deeds. You've come to this world and you have given what God gave you. The pulse, the air, the breath God gave you, you've utilized it, you've touched, you past another person, you've impacted on people's life. Now it's fine to resign yourself. But if you haven't done that, what are you doing resigning? God put you on this earth to do something, to help someone, to touch someone. If you cannot say when you earn 500 a month, you can't help someone. You never help anyone when you earn 5 billion enough. Because if you earn 500 a month and you can't give up if you can't give up like 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds? Is it when you earn 5 million that you're going to give 100 pound, 100 million or no, 100,000? No, that money becomes huge to you. So if you cannot help now, forget it. It's not about the money. It's not. I know back home on people who survive on less than of on $2 a day, less than $3 a day. I mean, I've told you about the ladies, not just one, a lot of ladies who go to the market just to sell 5 avocados. 5. That's all they have to sell that day to feed the family. Just 5 simple avocado. They have no store, no shops. They just on the street they put like some paper down and put the avocado there and just sit next to it. That's all they have to do. They just sell those 5 avocados and they have to feed the family. How can you not impact someone's life like that? If you buy the avocado from that lady and ask her why are you selling this, get to know her story. Find out I tell you, you don't need more than £50 to change that lady's life. Now she could buy maybe 10 avocados, 15 avocados, and maybe she could get a standard position. People knows her spot. You know, people know this is her permanent place, and people look out for her. Now she could go to the market and try and buy the best avocado, because the avocado she buys now is the avocado that she can place on a table. No, it's not the avocado that's for the floor. There's different kind of avocados when you go to the market. I grew up in the market. They're like they're like the runt of the family. You only buy those to the wonky ones. You buy them to be displayed on the floor. They're not worthy to be on the table. And that goes, they're not worthy to be on the table. And that applies to us as human. When you say to yourself, I'm good, that's fine with me, you basically say, I'm not worthy to be on the table. I want to be on the floor for the rest of my life. Only the great stand on the table. So when this lady goes to the market and buy 5 wonky avocados that are not good enough for the tables, that's because they're good enough to eat, but they're only good enough to be displayed on the floor. They cannot stand on the table and shout out the wonky. The avocados for the floor, not for the table. So if you help this lady, maybe with £50, $50, whatever, and she could go get those great avocados, and then while she's getting that, she's getting the table, because she knows these avocados are table class, man. These avocados are the kind of avocados that goes on table. You cannot put these avocados on the floor. Get out of here, man. These are classic avocados. These are great avocados, man. These are not the avocados for the floor. You cannot do this. You cannot disrespect this avocado. This is class 1. This is the avocados of the A side. These are the avocados of the A side. So can you imagine how you've changed this lady's life? Just with $50. Now she buys a table. Now she buys a table from, her profit. And now she displays her avocado on her table. And now she has a permanent stand. And she sells great avocados. And when people run in home, they get avocado from her. Or now she becomes known as the avocado lady. The avocado lady on that junction. Now people make references to her. Oh, if you're going home, darling, can you stop at the avocado lady on that junction? She always has great avocado. Please, can you get me 2? And people now, because she's got a cell phone now. The little old Nokia phone. And people calls her, oh, madam, I need 4 avocados tomorrow. Will you be able to get me? Yes, because I know your avocados are great. He says, oh, yeah, no problem. And now people placing orders. They're placing orders. So now she goes to the market and she thinks, oh, I've got 10 people who want 4 avocado each. Now she's selecting the greatest of the greatest avocado, because now she knows her customer, she knows what they want. And now she's focusing on the market. And you know how this lady started? She started as good. And you know who made her great? You made her great. She started on the floor. You put her on the table. Can you, with just $50, £50, you took someone's life and put it on the table. You know, why that lady, maybe she might have not been able to acquire any skill, but just by you helping her, there was something inside her that could grow, but was limited. I had this like a species of fish that if you put them in a confined space, even as an adult, they never grow beyond that box. Like they grow to size. If you put them in a little box, they remain small. You take them and put them in a bigger pond, they grow big. So this lady, she's just been caged. There was something inside her there, but she could not achieve greatness because she's been put in a very small box. And you've just come around, kick the box out, bust it open, and say, lady, now you're free to go. Now you're like a bird. And why are you going? I'll give you this to support yourself. And just with $50, you've changed her life. Now she's gone from good to great. She's gone from being on the floor to on the table. And guess what? You made that. And because you did that for her, you can do that for yourself. You can go from being on the floor to being on the table. You know why? Because on the floor, no one sees you. Everyone walks past you. But on the table, people see you from a mile. Do you ever do you know why there's a pulpit when people speak? Or they stand on the pulpit, so you could see them from a mile. You've been to festivals, you see the stage, so you could see them from a mile. That's what being on the table is. Greatness. Only great people stand on the table. You cannot stand on the table. You have a wobbly feet thinking, why am I being here? Why am I? No. Only great people stand on the table. You cannot stand on the table. Why? Because you're not great. And why are you not great? Because you decided to remain in one place forever. You've brought the cost in yourself. You said, you know what? May I not move an inch from here for the rest of my life. Because why? I am comfortable. You know why I'm comfortable? I have my TV. I have my plastic. I have my car. Why do I need to become great? Why don't you want to become great? You have everything in you to become great. God put greatness in you. In fact, you are great. You just cannot see it. Other people see it. Other people see that. I see that in this Australian tennis player. I see his greatness, but it just frustrates me that he's decided to be good. He decided to be good when he could be great. When he could be great, he decided to be good. Good is good enough for him. He doesn't want to be great. No, he wants to be good. And goodness is good, but not from when you're going to be great. So, if you just look at what I told you about a lady, some of the ladies I meet when I go to Africa, all they do is sell avocado. And this is not just, I'm not just like, because I'm crazy about avocado. This is just like in the season, because I often go when it's avocado season. Some are selling orange, different kind of fruit. Some not even fruits, like any kind of thing. But basically what I'm saying, they all display the product on the floor because that's where what they can afford to buy things that goes on the floor. Haven't you been to the supermarket here in the UK? When you walk around the aisles, tell me where the most important thing, the most expensive ones are. They are directly at your eye levels. When you look at eye levels with anything, that's where the most expensive things are, because those are the great ones. Those are the big brands. Those are the ones standing on the table. If you want the cheapest one, you have to bend on your knees. Go on your knees at the bottom. Yeah, they make you very uncomfortable because now you're dealing with the miscreants. You're dealing with the ordinary. You're dealing with the basic. It actually says in a basic brand, Savers brand. Yeah, when you bend on your knee, whatever you see there, I promise you say Savers, basic, unbranded. Why? Because they're on the floor. They don't count. They're very cheap. But when you stand up to your knees, stand up tall, because that's what what being great means. Standing up tall, your eye level, eye to eye. Those are the big brands. 10 times the price of the one on the floor. The same thing. But there's a greatness, man. Greatness staring you in the face. And if you just apply that to your life, every time you bend in and crouching and looking for, rummaging for 50p water bottle, that is good. And you can see where goodness is at the bottom. At the bottom. At your foot level, your ankle level. They make you walk. They make you bend down. They make you go to your knees to pick it up, to lift it up. That's how heavy it is. Good. Down there. They make you walk to pull it up, Yeah. But you can see greatness. It's right there in front of your eye. You don't need to pull it up, don't need to lift it up. You just need to reach out and touch it because its greatness is already there. It doesn't give you any stress or any difficulties. No. It's so easy to lift, so light. You don't have to go extra. You just tap it, it falls into your shopping basket. Straight up. That's greatness. That's greatness. And that's what I'm saying to you. You need to be great. You need to acquire the skills. The skills that takes you from good where you are today to greatness in a very short time. And these skills is soft skills, they call soft skills. This Australian tennis player, his attitude is the worst. If he can fix that, if he can sit there and look at himself and say, man, I need to impact this world. My name has to be mentioned when it comes to greatness, or when it comes to at least great Australian players. Great Australian players, you know them. Patrick Rafter, Leighton Hewitt, the Woodford, the doubles player Woodford, and going back, Mark Philippoussis. Yeah. Well, he has to say, I want to be mentioned in this category. I don't want to be good. I want to be great. And he just works in his attitude. How easy can it be? Because people beg you for all the skills he has. How easy can it be for this guy to go from good to great? From good to great. From good to great. How easy would it be? How easy would it be? And he go from good to great. If he can just change one thing. I know you watch him, you know who I'm talking about, you're frustrated about him. The same thing applies to you in your life because you're not willing to change just like him. To you, whatever he's not doing seems huge, but to you, that seems huge as well, whatever you're not doing, because you are not simply going. You're simply not going from good to great. You're not doing the simple things to change your life. No, you're stuck in one place. Cost yourself. You place the cost on yourself that you're going to be stuck in one place and you're going to be fine with that. Not only are you going to be stuck here, but you are going to be very comfortable doing it. So it comes back to skill. It comes back to skill. It comes back to skill. Get the skill. Get the skill. Train your brain. Learn something. Educate yourself. Progress in life. Move. Become a moving train. Become a moving train. You cannot stand in one place. You cannot stand in one place and become a success. You've got to move. You've got to connect. You've got to make friends. You've got to open up. You've got to learn. And you've got to live. You're going to live it. Not just live. You've got to live it right. You've got to walk it right. And that's what winning is all about. When you retire, when you resign, retirement. You look back and just like the tree is growing like 100 feet or whatever. When it looks down, it's like, yeah, that's me. So when you walk it right, you've impacted a lot of people. And when you retire, you look back at your legacy and you say, yeah, I have walked it right. I have walked it right. Yeah, that's me. I've impacted people's lives. I've done what I was put on this planet to do. Is it that you believe in God or you don't believe in God? You were put in this planet to help, to touch, to motivate, to encourage, to lift. You're not just put here to exist, occupy space, die, and be forgotten, buried. No. You put in here to touch a life, to impact a life. And once you've done that, you've done the work of God. You've done the work of God. When you impact in someone else's life, you have done the work of God. That's what you're here for. That's what you're here for. You've done it. You have done it. And I tell you, greatness is not so far. I tell you. Sometimes it takes just one or two skills, one or two extra skills. And these are things you do, but you just need to perfect them. You just need to become extra special them. They just need to become second nature to you. And that's when you know you have gone from good to great. You've gone from the floor to the table. I remember growing up as a kid, like I'm sure you know a lot about my story now. I've said it so many times. I'm not saying it for you to feel sorry for me, no, because I loved my childhood. I had nothing, but I loved it. I had all the freedom in the world to make my own decisions, to set my path. Like I told you, I started paying for my school fees myself from primary 4. Primary 4. Yeah. I started taking care of my responsibilities from primary 4. Go ask my mom. She's alive today. From primary 4, I started taking care of my responsibilities. So I enjoyed my life so much. I had nothing, but I had the freedom to do whatever I want. And my mom let me do it because she knew that I was capable at that age. At 4 years old, she knew I was capable. At 4 years old, that primary 4, she knew I was capable. That's primary 4. Now look at your kid who is in primary 4 and tell me if you think they're capable of taking care of themselves. But my mom knew I was capable of taking care of myself at primary 4. Whenever I come home at night, she just asks me, "Are you okay, dear?" That's it. At primary 4. So I grew up not having a lot, but I loved my childhood foundation. I loved it. So I've told you about these stories before. I grew up in, a zinc house, corrugated zinc house. So, it was one room, me and my sisters, my brothers, my mom, my dad in one room. We'll call it a room. It's just like a space, a square space. So there was 2 beds in there. So I had to sleep on the floor, of course, on the mat. We call it this, like this waved mat. I slept on the mat for, almost all my childhood. I think I was sleeping on the mat till, after secondary school or whatnot. Yeah, until, I was able to move out for a little bit, and then I moved onto the bed. I can remember how good it felt when I moved from the mat on the floor to the bed. It was like having elevated onto a different level. I was not sleeping differently, maybe longer hours, maybe more relaxed. I was waking up stronger. I don't know. But just that little move from the floor to the bed, it made a massive difference. You felt as if I've arrived now. I went from the floor to the bed. So that's what happens to you when you go from on the floor to the table. And in this person's life you could have touched, maybe she probably like, my voice cracking, man. It's too early this morning. Yeah, man. I need some drink. Now, what time is it? Oh, man. I'm just went 6 o'clock, so I better get up today, man. It's Saturday. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. So this lady, who you're probably going to help, maybe she's same like me, kids, she has to feed them, because my mom fed us whatever she sowed on that day. Whatever she made from the market that day, we had to live on that. I mean, I was okay. I started out so I could take care of myself. But she made sure there was food in the house. In case I got home, there was no food. There was always food. Why? Because she went out 6 days a week, hustled, and put food on the table. But you know what? She started just like that lady, selling on the floor. She sold everything on the floor till she was able to move from the floor to the table. And now we started eating better. We got to bed in one room because she went from selling floors avocado to table avocado. Now we were able to move from the floor to the table. And this could be impacting someone's life who's got this exactly the same story. That's why when I go back to Africa now, I always try and help as much as I can. Doesn't matter how much I have. I don't have that much money, but I give what I can because giving is honorable. It's better to give than to receive. God is giving you life. You should give something to someone else. You can't be selfish, just take. No, you have to give. And as you give, you impact on someone's life. As you give, you change someone's life. As you give, you make someone become from good to great. As you give, you take someone from the floor to the table. And all this is just a decision you've made, a choice. You've decided to follow your instinct. Abandon the choice and follow your instinct. I want to become great. How do I make me great? Look at the skills you're lacking. I'm sure you know this thing. Work on those things. Improve on those things. And I tell you, within a short time, you will be great. And people will come to you for advice and say, how did you do it? You used to be the one sitting in the corner. You never spoke. Now you're the life of the party. We can't shut you up. They're like, get out here. You're so loud. We can shut you up. Because you're so loud. And we can't even shut you up, man. Shut up, man. You're speaking too much. Shut up. This is what it means from going from good to great. Oh, man. Good to great. Good to great. It takes skills. It takes skills. We have to improve on ourselves. We have to progress. We have to move forward. When you stop learning, you die. And most people die once they get out of higher education. When they get out of uni or college or whatever apprentice, they stop learning and they start dying. It's like you spend all this year learning and now you're going to spend all this year just dying back, returning to your root. As a human, you're meant to continuously grow, absorb information, analyze it, export it, utilize it. You're meant to grow continuously. Your brain has to keep working continuously. As you get older, you work smarter, less hard work, faster. You don't have the brute strength you did as a teenager, as a youngster. No, now you're working smarter. Why? Because during your learning stage, you learned all the skills. Now you're applying it. You're learning some more. So you're working smarter, not harder. Because you can't afford to work harder. You get tired. You get old. You get lazy. Your bones are not as strong as they used to be. You cannot sustain it. You cannot survive doing the same thing you did as a teenager, as a youngster, working harder. You don't have the strength. Your back is gonna cave in. So you have to work smarter. And how can you work smarter? You acquire the skills you need, the soft skill, the attitude change, the communication change, the friendliness change, the charisma change, the character change, You build on these things. And you become skillful in your field. And then you're going from good to great. And you become great. And when your name is mentioned, people say, sir. No one says, yeah, mate. No. They treat you with respect. They treat you with respect. When you present your craft, you sit back and say, yeah, that's my craft. Inspect it as you want. Inspect it as you want. It's from my hands, a great craftsman. Yeah, that's work of art. If you go, marvel at that, man. That's me. I mean that. Not like a shoddy job when you can't even present your shoddy job because it's shoddy. That's what good is. Shoddy job. You can't even present it. You're trying to hide it. Please don't ask me questions. Please don't look at it. Please don't investigate my work. It's going to crumble. It's built on sand. It's not built on the rock. When the storm comes, it's going to take it away. That's a shoddy job. It's a shoddy job. And you know why? You've been producing shoddy job after shoddy job. That's because you've refused to go from good to great. Great job awaits you on the great side. Excellent job, marvelous job awaits you on the excellent side, on the greatness side. Because you know what? Only greatness can produce greatness. Good doesn't produce great. A lion doesn't give birth to a turtle, nor does an eagle give birth to a duck. No, a lion produces a lion. A tiger gives birth to a tiger. That's what greatness gives birth to greatness. If you want to produce great, you got to be great first. It's the foundation of greatness. It's the foundation of greatness. Consistency, consistency, consistency. How many times has Rafa Nadal won French Open now? I think it's 12 times or 13 times. Consistency, consistency, greatness. How many times has Djokovic won Australian Open? I think 12 or 13. Consistency. That's what greatness is. Consistency. Greatness doesn't break. It just doesn't give you one and then you don't get. No. You expect from greatness. You expect, in fact, you're disappointed when you don't get that because it's an expectation now. You've come to expect greatness from them because that's what they shoot at, that's what they give up. Whenever the NBA final comes along, you're saying are the Lakers gonna win it? Why? They've got LeBron James. They've got LeBron James. You're talking are the Warriors? Why? They've got Kobe and they've got Curry. Sorry. Now, with James Harden going to Brooklyn Nets, you've got Kevin Durant. People saying, are the Brooklyn Nets going to win the next NBA? Why? Because they've got 3 great players. The rest, we don't know the names, but at least they've got 3 great ones. That's what greatness does. Greatness stands apart. Greatness climbs the highest mountain in the world and says, here I am, I'm standing right in your face. And this is my flag. I'm going to leave it here. So when people come around, they know, yeah, he was here. This is his mark. We know his handwork. He does greatness every time. He never gives anything less than greatness. That is him. Can people say this about you with your work? In whatever field you do? No. Can people say that? That's his signature. Have you got a signature that you can stand by? No. You know why? Because you're not great. You want to be great. You can be great. You've got greatness in you. But are you ready for it? Do you really, really want it? Or are you just saying you want? Do you get jealous when someone else gets promotion? Someone else gets married. Life is good for another person. They buy a new car, a new house. Things are going good. And you're stuck in one place, and you're getting angry. Why? Haven't you got exactly the same thing as that person? They pause. But why? They've invested in themselves, and you've refused to invest in yourself. Because you've become comfortable, and they have gone out and improved on everything to make them great. They've left the floor for you. Now they're standing on the table, and customers are placing orders. They're delivering They're doing home delivery now. They're doing home delivery now. I'll tell you, man. The avocado lady is doing home delivery now. In fact, she has gotten someone else to stand on in her store. She now does home delivery avocado. Can you imagine that? In Africa, she does home delivery avocado to people's houses. Here, madam, I'm here to deliver your avocado, the top class. It's for me. You know, now she's got a branded avocado brand in Africa. Because she's now, it's gone from good to great. She puts in less effort and she makes more money. Because she's giving the best service now. You know, she's reaching different places. You know. And because of how she gets avocado, one day she supplies an avocado to a lady, and the lady says, "Oh, I've got a mall. Would you mind supplying my mall with avocado, because you bring me the best avocado? I'm just opening this mall in Chiare. You know, we're looking for a supplier. Would you mind? I'll recommend you." Now, the lady on the street corner who started with just 5 avocados on the floor, she's now walked into the mall. You know, she's supplying the malls now. She's going from making $5 a day or less, $2 a day, to making 50 a day, and now she's making, 500 a day, and just from supply one supermarket, everyone's like, "Oh wow, do you want avocado? You should go to that mall, to that shopping supermarket. They've got the best avocado." And people are like, "Oh wow." And now that supermarket is known for the avocado, and they're thinking, "Where do you get your avocado from?" "Oh, avocado is supplied by this lady." And now she's gained more customers and other supermarkets. And now she does not even have to wake up and go to the market now. Now her avocado is brought to her house, the best of the best. Before the selection starts, they select an lady avocado to one side and delivers to her house. And now she delivers to the supermarket and all her customers. She started from $2. From $2. From $2. The avocado lady is now a millionaire under 1 year. Can you imagine that? And you know why she was able to go all through that steps? She had all the skill all the time, but she needed a lift. And you gave her the lift. You know why? With your £50. It changed her life. And even just in that, you can relax and say to life, "I have rocked you well, man. I have rocked you well," because you've impacted someone's life. And along the way, she's impacted so many people's lives, because she's now giving jobs. She's more than jobs, she's now giving hopes. Because there's other lady who started on the floor as her, saying, "Now, I've got to do something." Not jealous one, because some people link this to, "Oh, it's witchcraft, it's this." No. Some people will be jealous, but most people will think, "Wow, if she could do this, I could do that." Now she's selling hopes. And apart from hopes, someone heard about her story, and now she's selling books. She's writing books. She's writing books. The avocado lady that started on the floor, selling avocado on the floor, 5 avocado to feed her families. And every day I see her, like, "Lady, there you go. Take this. Don't worry about the avocado. You're here tomorrow, just don't worry. Come at this time, don't worry. At this time, come. You don't need to come here. How many avocado do you have every day? 5. Just come here every day, and I will buy them at 6 o'clock. That's when I'm on my way home. Just come. You could come 5 o'clock. You could get more for other people. But for me, just bring me this 5. This 5 at 6 o'clock, I'm getting them from you every single day." And that's what I did with her. And there she had more money. And then she moved up too. The next day I turned up. She had a table. Her avocado has gone from the floor to the table. Now she doesn't only supply me 5 avocado. She supplies other people 5 avocado. So she started from avocados on the floor. Now she's now a millionaire. a movie star, a writer, just because she changed one thing, one attitude, and then she went from good to great. When we look at greatness, it could be so far-fetched. We think that is far. We need to change our entire self. We need to change everything about us to become great. It's so hard, so difficult. Now, just need to change one thing gradually, or two things gradually, and you're edging closer. You know what? Every time you change, you've taken a step forward. You've broken the cause. You've broken the chain that says you're going to be stuck in one place forever. So every time you change, you've moved forward. Every time you change, you advance. You get closer. You get closer. And that's what life is all about. Moving from one place to place. Being on a moving train. Not being stuck in one place. Because you cannot be stuck in one place. That's death. That's doom. That's doom. That is doom. Yeah, that's doom. You stay in one place, that's it. There's no progress. There's no advancement. Your life is completely done. Live in your options. I will follow my instinct. My instinct tells me I am great. I am good. I was good, but I am great. I know why I was great, because I was looking at it and I said, greatness, I want you. Greatness, I own you. Today, I'm having you. And he said, no, you. I said, yes, me. He said, what can you do about it? I said, I need two things. There's two things in my life that's missing right now, and I'm working on them. He's like, are you serious? I'm very serious. He's like, tell me about them. Like, don't worry about them. Tomorrow, I'll tell you about it. But today, I'm going to fix them. You know when I'll tell you about them? When I'm sitting next to you on the golf course. When I'm sitting next to you in the VIP box. And you're like, oh, how did you get here? I'm like, greatness, I told you I was going to come sit next to you. You're like, that was true. Well, how did you get here? I said, I fixed those two things that was kept me when I was in good school. Those two things, I fixed them, and now I'm sitting next to you side by side. You know what? Greatness, like, welcome. We need more of you. It's very empty here. I've just been looking around. There's no one to talk to. I'm so glad you're here with me now. It's so crowded down there. I said, yes, it's so crowded down there, but here it's so amazing. Look at all this floor. Look at all I can eat. I don't even have to eat that much. It's first class all the way. But why are so many people stuck down there in good? Greatness said, you know what? They never aspire to be like you. They just complain. They made choices. They chose to be there. They get stuck in one place. They never walked on their skill, you know. But up here, see how empty it is. I'm like, wow, how wish they knew what I knew. Now I am great, sitting next to greatness, and we just living a great life. Wouldn't you like to be that? Wouldn't you want to be that? Would you want to be in that position? Wouldn't you want to be in that position, sitting next to greatness, having some afternoon tea like you're the queen or something? That's what greatness is. Up there, there's so much space up there. We just crowded down here. There's so much space up there. Greatness. That's what greatness is. Greatness. And I'm telling you today, if you listen to this, wake up and say to yourself, what's those things I'm lacking? I'm lacking something. I know what it is. I know you know what you're lacking, because whatever you're lacking, people said it to you and you know it. You look to yourself, but you deny it to yourself. You say to yourself, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You should start worrying about it, because you know what? It's not only is it going to affect you, it's going to affect your children. It's going to affect your children, because you gave up. And now they buy that. They grow up in the environment. We are a product of an environment. They look at you, their parent. They look at you, their inspiration. You gave up hope. You got stuck there. They think, why should I try? My mom never tried. Why should I try? My dad never tried. Everyone around me, they were good. Why do I need to be great? I don't have great in me. I don't have greatness in me. It's not in my blood. You are the cause of that. You are the cause of that. You have started this generation to be choice makers. and never follow the instinct. I tell you today, we can all be great, especially to this Australian player. I beg you, you know yourself. You can be great. I love you. I love you. But please, your attitude, if you fix it, you can be great. If you fix your attitude, if you step out on the court every day and say, I'm going to win whatever it takes. I'm going to play tennis and not for the crowd. I'm here to win. I'm not here for the crowd. I'm not here to entertain. If you want entertainment, go to the movies. Of course, you can watch me entertain you, but let me entertain you after I have won. That's what I care about. I care about the winning, not the entertainment. You didn't pay me for entertaining you. You pay me for my result. You don't pay me for my time. You pay me for my result. And I'm here for the result. That's the most important thing to me. You can watch me. You can love it. But you're not going to kick me out of a tournament for beating everyone and playing a rubbish kind of tennis. It doesn't matter. Look at Santoro. You have to focus, grow your attitude. And then you become the great player we all know you could become. And that same thing applies to us human. Change one or two things and then you can become great. One or two things and then you can become great. Just one or two and you can become great. Is it lateness? Is it timekeeping? Is it organization? Is it listening? Is it talking? Is it being friendly? Is it giving? Is it being humble? Just change one or two things. One or two things. And then you're standing on the aisle face to face with greatness. And he's saying, come on, brother. Come on, brother. You deserve a seat next to me. Leave that crowded market for the goods. This is not for the great. This is not for the VIP. How do you always feel whenever you travel at the airport? It's like the VIP lounge where you stuck somewhere just waiting in the cold and someone just walks in, goes into the VIP lounge and then just chills, and when it's ready to go, they let them in first. They sit, they relax in first class, and then you, second class citizen, have to walk yourself all the way to back off the flight. How do you always feel about that? That is life, right? The airport, every time you're about to travel, just think about that whole process. That is what's happening in your life today. You've been a second class citizen. No one is welcoming you, sir. This is our VIP lounge. What can I offer you? No one is offering that to you. You know why? Because you're just good. You've refused to be great. You've refused to be great. You can get all that. And I'm not talking about VIP lounge or whatever as in money time. No, I'm talking about the privilege. You could have all that thing and say, I don't want it. But at least have access to it. Have access to it. That's the privilege. That's the greatness, you know? And don't get me wrong, some people go over the board, spend what they haven't got to be in the VIP line. They just putting themselves out. But if you're there by merit, and then you see greatness, you get welcome sir treatment. Welcome sir treatment. What can I offer you, sir? What can I offer you, sir? That is the first class treatment you deserve. That's the first class treatment you deserve in your life today. And if only you can do one or two things, if only you can make one or two changes, internal, nothing is going to change around you. It's like the weather, it's like the season. It remains constant. It moves around. Summer goes, winter goes, autumn goes, spring goes. They move around just like the earth rotates around. But the only thing that's going to change is you. The rest is constant. You cannot impact that. The only thing you can impact is yourself. You change yourself, you change the world. You make an impact on yourself, it impacts the world. You give to the world becomes a better place. So I'm saying to you today, whatever is holding you back, there is no one holding you back. Especially to my African brothers, there's no spirit holding you back. There's no disease holding you back. There's no family member holding you back. There's nothing holding you back. Everything that's holding you back is you. You are holding yourself back. The minute you stop learning, the minute you focus on your powers on prayer and not work, the minute you turn your back on growth, you brought the curse in yourself. You brought the curse in yourself of remaining and standing in one place and saying to yourself, look at me, I am comfortable in this place. I'm not going to grow. I will stand here. I wouldn't change for anything. I wouldn't change for anybody. People should change for me. And you know what? No one is ready to change for you. Because everyone's got their own thing. You have to change. You make the internal change. You cannot change the external change. It's like when we have problems, we go from job to job, relationship to relationship, place to place, town to town, city to city, country to country. We are chasing what? What are we chasing? Whatever we're chasing is where we are. The people who have that thing, where we're running away. Why are we running away? We are our own problem. We don't want to change ourselves, so therefore we'll have to change this other thing. Instead of changing one thing, you have to change 10 things. And every time you're starting afresh. Why? Because you rather change those things than change yourself. They are the problem. It's never you. And everywhere you go, you encounter the same problem. Everywhere you go, does that not say to you, I need to change? I need to change. The change is in me. I am the problem. Nothing else is the problem. Me. Change yourself, internal change. Become something, become great. Go from the floor to the table, from the floor to the bed, from the A, from the B to the A, from this side to that side. Become the LeBron James of your field, the Roger Federer of your field, the Tiger Woods of your field. Become the Les Brown of your field, the Eric Thomas of your field, David Schwartz of your field, Napoleon Hill of your field, James Oswald of your field. Become greatness. Become the Gandhi. Become the Mandelas. Become the Obamas. Become the Gaddafi. Become the greatness. Let be talked about. You have this in you. Don't give up into laziness, into choices. Follow your instinct. When your voice talks to you, talk to it. Put it out there. Play it back to yourself. Say to yourself, man, I'm listening to myself and I'm feeling excited. I'm so happy to be here today. You know what? I couldn't wait to be here. And you know why? Because I couldn't wait to listen to myself because I sound so great. This is how I feel when I listen to myself every morning. I tell you, I used to be so horrible, ashamed of listening to my voice, but I feel so great. You can hear it in my voice that I feel so great listening to myself. And when I play my voice back to myself, I feel even more excited. You know why? Because I am making the changes right now. And I'm seeing how my life is changing. This little step I'm taking, 1 or 2 steps, I see how it's turned my whole life around. If you knew me before a year from now, you wouldn't believe the changes I've made and how I've grown. People around me say it, but when I preach it, they're too lazy to take the steps. Don't beat those people. Don't become lazy. Take the step. Make the changes. Become something in your life. There's someone on the other side who's kept a seat for you. And you know his name is greatness. Greatness kept a seat there for you, just waiting for you, like looking down, saying, what is it doing? What is it doing over there being with the goods? Don't be with the goods. You deserve a seat, right next to me. You deserve a seat right next to me. It's crowded down there. It's crowded. Make the change and then you can cross over. Make the change and you can become more. Make the change and you can change lives. Make the change and you can impact life. Make the change and you can become immortal by your work. Make the change. Make the change. Make the change. Go from good to great. Give. Give, regardless of what you have. Give, give, and give. I'm not saying go to church and give. No. If that's your thing, go to church and give. If it's not your thing, there's so many people who need your help on the street. Less, very little help. Assist. Give them. Give. God is giving you air. God is giving you bread. Every day you don't ask, you don't pray for that. Do you ever say, thank you, Lord, for it's today, another day, and you still gave me this? But give. And when you give, don't expect it's gonna be given back to you. No, just give because it's good. You're not giving because it's gonna be given back to you. No, give when God gave you bread. He didn't ask for anything back. He just said, "I'm giving you something. You give to another person." Simple. So when you give, don't expect anything back. No, you're not giving. You're not bribing God. You cannot bribe God. You cannot give and say, "God, I'm giving today. You give to me." No, you're giving because it's good to give. You're giving because it's good to give. It's just to give. It's the right thing to do. You're lifting someone from the floor to the table. You're taking them from good to great. But when you give, you receive in a different way. But don't start out giving because you want to receive. No, that's the wrong mentality. Start out giving because you want to help. You want to change someone's life. You want to impact someone's life. You want to become immortal. When you're gone, your legacy lives on. Start your giving that way. And then watch people go from good to great. Oh my God. 7:51. Oh man, Saturday 7:51. I've got to jump on my bike now. There's some bike ride and then okay. Well, it was nice talking to you guys. I hope we'll put this in practice. And I tell you, the way this has changed my life, it will change your life. And once again, thank you for listening. And if you have anything you want to discuss, please just reach out to me. And then we could both become great together. I'm sitting here. I've got space for you. See you together on the great side. Thank you.